You two should visit Casa Bonita in Colorado.
Now y'all need to come to Denver for Casa Bonita.
Neither of us knew what Casa Bonita was. But then we Googled it, and it turns out it's actually a very iconic restaurant in Colorado.
Isn't it actually known as the greatest restaurant in the world?
Yeah, they've been marketing themselves as the greatest restaurant in the world. We probably can't thoroughly answer that question today because I haven't been to every restaurant in the world. And I'm assuming you haven't either.
I almost have, but not fully, so I can't give my full answer in this video.
Casa Bonita was originally a part of a restaurant chain. It started in 1968 in Oklahoma City. They had a few other locations. They made one in Colorado. Decades went by, and now the Casa Bonita in Colorado is the only one left. Oh, all of its siblings are dead.
It seems like if you grew up in Colorado, this was your thing. Everybody had their birthday party there. It's part of your whole identity.
When we were taking the Uber to Casa Bonita, we were asking the Uber driver about it, and he was like, yeah, I loved it as a kid. And we were like, we never went as kids, but like, hopefully we love it as adults.
To Coloradians, it seems like it's kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese, but better.
Some people consider it the Disneyland of Mexican restaurants.
That seems like very niche. Like, is there even any other Mexican restaurants competing for that?
Even though people loved Casa Bonita, sadly in 2020, it closed down because of the COVID. It went bankrupt or something. But then in 2021, the people that created South Park, the Book of Mormon, they've probably done a ton of other stuff.
Basketball?
They bought the restaurant and put $40 million into it.
In the documentary, originally they were like, okay, we'll put $5 million into it. But then it just kept adding up. Apparently the whole restaurant was literally like 2 nights away from collapsing.
So we pulled up to the official Casa Bonita, and both of our jaws were to the floor. Look at this pink palace. Ooh la la.
I love it.
Exactly 8 o'clock.
It does kind of take you out of it because if you look a little bit to either side, you see Cece's Pizza or a Dollar Tree. That almost adds to the mystique. It's just as a regular strip mall, but magic resides there.
You see that statue on top? You probably just think it's some random guy standing up there all day. No, it's actually the last Aztec emperor. So they do throw in some actual Mexico elements. We didn't know what to expect. All we knew is that it kind of looked like an amusement park. There was so many people standing outside of it.
This place is popping. Security on both sides. There was even like a bouncer girl. Like she wasn't, but she kind of was just like there to be like, okay, like let me guide you. Like it really felt like we were kind of going to like a movie premiere. Exclusive. Like you had to be on a list because technically, I mean, you did need a reservation.
You have to go through TSA before even entering the restaurant. And I mean, it was cool because, well, when I walked into the restaurant, I was like, yay, like most likely we won't get stabbed or shot at, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, no, I'm glad they had that.
Casa Bonita is themed after 1970s Mexico. Right after walking in, I was like, wow, I feel like I'm in 1970s Mexico. No idea what that's like, but I'm assuming this is what it was like.
Anyone who's watching who was around during that time in Mexico is probably like, oh my gosh, like, is this a home video of mine that they found?
Restrooms right when you walk in, because they know everyone has to go to the bathroom before.
Even though the restaurant has been completely renovated, here is the little memorabilia section, all the posters of the past eras of Casa Bonita.
Then we entered a line that kind of felt like the line at a theme park for a roller coaster.
Huh? Then we were guided to our table and we entered the main dining hall, I guess, of Casa Bonita, and it was crazy. High ceilings, fake stars, palm trees. I could hear a waterfall in the distance. A mariachi band was blaring. I was overstimulated in the best way possible.
It felt so overwhelming, but also so heartwarming.
It's like, this is what the world is supposed to be.
This just made me realize it doesn't really matter if climate change keeps happening because we can just make every building into this.
Wait, yeah, why is everyone worried? The centerpiece of the dining room are these cliffs surrounding this body of water. It looks so majestic. A replica of the cliffs of Acapulco.
When I was reading about it, I guess people actually like do cliff diving shows in that area of Mexico.
In the documentary about this restaurant, they kept showing these old movie clips of like Elvis or something diving off of them. Did I just make that up?
No, you didn't make that up.
Yeah, so I guess like in the 1970s, there were some movies about those clips.
We got sat by the waterfall because I booked premium dining.
Hey!
Regularly at Casa Bonita, you would sit in these caves. That is still a cool place to sit because it looks like you're in a cave. Wow, what? How? Right after sitting down, there was a tropical storm. So they kind of are doing a rainforest cafe type thing. When you're at Rainforest Cafe every now and then, there's a storm and the animals are like making noises. And this restaurant also does that. Basically, the lights started flickering. There was a bunch of noises for like 30 seconds. It felt like everything was gonna collapse, and that was fun.
You are entertained the entire time at Casa Bonita. Right after the thunderstorm ended, the cliff diving show began. There's a cliff diving show every 20 minutes, and the first one we saw, it kind of started out with a skit or something. I couldn't tell what was going on because there was like these people gathered on the bridge watching it. What's going on? Oh my God. But people were laughing, so they were like doing skits, and then they actually did like a really cool dive. Two divers dove diagonally and like crossed each other. It's like some Tom Daly type stuff. From looking at their body language, it gave like a very cheesy vibe. Like, we're so masculine, like kind of a caricature in a way.
Like, that just put the biggest smile on my face. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know you're at a good restaurant if the drink menu is the same size as the food menu.
They're trying to make people get tipsy. Turnt.
I already knew we were gonna get too taunt for Casa Bonita on this night. It's a pretty small menu. Burritos, enchiladas, nachos, tacos, a taco salad. It's simple. It's definitely not a Cheesecake Factory menu.
The chips and salsa came. We were eating it. We were kind of yelling while we were eating it to talk to each other. It's one of those environments where you have to yell for the person across the table to hear you, which I kind of like being in those environments. It's just fun sometimes yelling. Even when you're yelling, they kind of can't hear you.
It's so exciting leaving a restaurant and your voice is gone. And I knew that was going to happen, but I was fine with it.
But the chips and salsa were a little bit different. I mean, the chips were like regular, but then the salsa was more of this yellow, orange, chili? Yeah, I mean, it was good. But I was like, okay, like, this is me scooping it, by the way. Oh, this is different. I like it. Margaritas. Bring them on. Bring them out. Bring them out. I was trying to be on my health grind, so I was like, I want a drink, but let me get the skinny margarita. They actually had this on the menu. A lot of times you ask for it, and the bartenders just pretend to make a skinny margarita, but they just give you the regular one. But they actually had it on the menu, so I was like, okay. And it tasted skinny. Like, instantly, my love handles kind of fell off a little bit. Some thigh jiggle, like, got sucked out. I kind of was regretting it. I was like, why didn't I just get the regular margarita? We're at Casa Bonita.
I got the regular margarita, and voila, it tasted like a regular margarita. What I mean by that is that it tasted like margarita mix that you get from the grocery store. And personally, I'm a fan of that. So I was like, yippee-ki-yay! Oh my gosh! Not even joking, we had only been at this majestic restaurant for 12 minutes. Our main entrees already are coming. What? They're already at the table?
They have the service down at this restaurant. Drinks immediately come. When you order food, it's ready because like there's only a certain amount of menu items. Like everything is kind of going quick.
There's never a dull moment at Casa Bonita. I got the carnita nachos. They look sauced up. Sauce was on every chip, it looked like.
I was jealous. Though that meat looks juicy.
Juicier than grape juice.
I was being kind of boring and just got chicken enchiladas. I regretted it because they also had like this fun burrito. I don't know why I didn't get it. Yeah, it was just cheese enchiladas with chicken on top.
Yeah. This is probably the perfect time to mention a big controversy of Casa Bonita. People have complained for years about how gross the food is.
Common inside joke with everyone who's been to Casa Bonita at some point in their lives. Like, oh, the food's horrible, but we love it.
I wasn't surprised with this controversy because isn't that usually how food is at kids type places?
I mean, it makes sense that, yeah, the food for most of Casa Bonita's life was bad because, yeah, kids, they don't have any palate. If anything has flavor, they get mad. So you have to make literally like just bottom of the barrel stuff for them.
When the creators of South Park bought Casa Bonita, they decided to upgrade the food because they were like, why keep having trash food? We might as well try to make it better.
Yeah, mine was good. It just tasted like any enchilada you get at like an actual Mexican restaurant.
So it wasn't better than most enchiladas. It was more of an average enchilada.
Go to the good Mexican restaurant in your town and this would be it, you know? I just am comparing it to these one enchiladas our mom's friend made. And nothing has ever beaten those.
Oh, okay.
So it's not better than hers.
There was none of that fake yellow queso on my nachos, which really left me super surprised because I'm so used to that fake queso being on nachos. So then when Casa Bonita didn't put that fake queso on my nachos, I was like, okay, this food is definitely better than it used to be because there's no fake queso. All I'm seeing is like maybe there was some like white queso and there was also some cotija cheese. I want to clap for them because they definitely improved it, I'm assuming. These were some yummy in my tummy nachos because the carnitas were so good. We were eating, we were drinking, and then boom, there was another cliff diving show happening. From what I could see, I was like,
Yay!
Keep jumping off those cliffs because it makes me excited.
And it was a whole different routine. It wasn't the same thing we saw 20 minutes prior. They had new skits, new jumps.
It is kind of embarrassing to say this, but I did start to eat my nachos with a fork because it started to get too messy. Too much sour cream, guacamole, cheese on my hands. So yes, this does look very sophisticated, but it's what I was doing. I was eating my nachos with a fork.
I heard it's a little Bel Air Nepo boy.
Eating nachos with a fork does very much give nepotism. Is your dad John Stamos? We were feeling so many sensations.
Hell yes.
Wait. There's one more food item left to come. The sopapillas! This is an iconic Casa Bonita item.
It seems like these are deeply ingrained in the Casa Bonita lore. The sopapillas are one of the main core memories you have if you went there growing up. It's a very simple item.
It's a fried piece of bread. I mean, it's not bread, but it's a fried piece of dough, and there's a bunch of honey drizzled on top. I didn't have that high of expectations because I was kind of assuming this was more of a nostalgia moment. But when I bit into that sopapilla, I understood everyone that has raved about these. They were so soft and warm, yet so sweet, but not too sweet.
When you bite into the sopapilla, you basically pop a bubble. Pop. And then all this warm air slaps your face.
Lucas was telling me a few weeks ago that honey is magical, so that just made me that much more happier eating these sopapillas because I was like, honey is magical.
Yeah, I got into this part of Twitter that was claiming that honey is part of a different dimension and somehow it unlocks part of your consciousness and heals every ailment.
That's probably why they put honey on this dessert, just to do that.
I love wipes, so I'm thankful that Casa Bonita gave us wipes.
Casa Bonita is set up in a way where you dine, you get all the the food. I think that's for an hour. And then after you dine and eat all the food, you get to explore the rest of the restaurant because that's where all of the attractions are. Because there's way more than the cliff divers. There's so much to see. So after you eat all of this food, with your tummy full, you get to look at all the other attractions. But before doing that, we had to order one more thing. Both of us got a double margarita.
And this time I didn't get a skinny. I was over that. I got a regular margarita, way better than the skinny. But unfortunately, when you do drink the regular margarita, you immediately become fat. And that's what happened, and I just dealt with it, and I'm still accepting it today.
You immediately became eligible for 1,000-Pound Sisters. There's just something I can't quite put into words about sipping a double margarita and watching two people jump off these fake cliffs. Oh, I loved it. It was one of a kind. That's all I can say.
Tom Daly did it again.
For this dinner, it came to about $170 because the meal is like $45 and then the alcoholic drinks are more. It's like $13 for a regular, $17 for a double.
I kind of liked how it was just a set price, and then you get the chips and salsa, you get a main, and you get a dessert, all for one price, you know? Nothing's priced on the menu. And the journey really had just begun.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay. We got up from the table and started exploring. First off, we saw this cute lookout point. We got to be behind the waterfall. We were above the diving pond, and I was really tempted to jump in.
Thankfully, neither of us did, but it did sound very fun. Then we entered this city square. There was so much happening.
There's a man playing a guitar up there all emotionally.
He's kind of serenading everyone.
It's just crazy how many performers they hire at this establishment. Like, they could have cheaped out and just had an AI screen up there of an AI person playing a guitar, but they actually, I'm assuming that's a real person.
He looked like a real person. I didn't see any glitches. So the first attraction we're going to do is Black Bart's Cave. This is one of the characters of Casa Bonita. I haven't mentioned this, but Casa Bonita has a bunch of characters. It's kind of like how McDonald's has a bunch of characters. There's this guy named Black Bart, and he's kind of like a pirate guy, I think. There's also a gorilla that is sometimes seen running around the restaurant.
Oh, we didn't see it though.
Yeah, we didn't see the gorilla, but he's one of the characters too. Put my hand in a bunch of these holes. Sometimes when you put your hands in these holes, like a fake rattlesnake bites you or something. Thankfully, I didn't get bit from anything, so I didn't have to go to the hospital.
We then got to the entrance of Black Bart's hideout. It was this whole cave maze thing. Kind of spooky in the beginning. It says, stay out. You don't know what's going to happen once you go in there. And I actually did have anxiety when we walked in because I was thinking, it's pretty busy here, and what if I go in and there's a traffic jam and there's no one out? It started giving me flashbacks to those Boy Scout cubes. Was this just a Nebraska thing? Just insert a photo. If you experienced this as a kid, I feel you. You probably also have trauma of being stuck in there and somebody starts saying they can't breathe. But I thought someone was gonna pull that in the cave.
There was so many people in line for this cave, and it was only adults. Then it kind of got my mind running, and I started to realize, like, wait, I kind of feel like this is going to be the new Disney adult that people start making fun of. It's not going to be your Disney adult. It's going to be your Casa Bonita adult.
I feel like we're heading towards that.
I know. We're almost becoming Casa Bonita adults, I
know.
feel like.
I think I might have fell under the spell and joined the cult. But luckily for us, the hideout cave never got clogged. People were keeping it moving, and we just gotta explore the cave system. It kept going. Like, it wasn't some little, oh, you start here and go around a corner and it's over. Like, no, it twisted and weaved.
This was the most over-the-top, cheesy, haunted house type thing.
I I don't think we're supposed to be in here. Looking back at the footage, there was kind of like a storyline the cave was following. I don't know if it's from the margaritas or what, but at the time, it kind of just went over our heads. But there were skulls and stuff, treasures. It was building the personality of this Bart man.
Like, then we walked down some stairs and we were back in the town square. And I gotta say that I don't know what was happening, but I thought it was a blast at the time.
No, it was great. There was a root beer cantina. It was this area that stairs led to. It was an arcade. They also had a bunch of different types of root beer.
There was a shooting gallery also.
People were up there with guns, like fake guns. We wanted to look at it, but we didn't want to spend too much time here because it's just an arcade and we have to get to all the shows. There's performances that are about to start.
This is a multi-level restaurant, so we went to the bottom floor and we watched the cliff divers dive up close. This guy did a cannonball, I think, more of a freestyle moment.
We then rushed to the puppet show, which we heard was about to start. The whole entire bleacher section was sold out. Like there weren't tickets or anything, but it was already full, so we were on the side watching.
A bunch of adults ready to watch some puppets speak to each other. I didn't film the puppet show, but I'll give you guys sort of a rundown. There was a talking taco.
Oh yeah, I loved him. There's also a depressed burrito.
Aww.
Cheer up.
He has to get on Prozac or something. Why are you depressed?
Oh, get on that medication. There's nothing to be ashamed about.
And there was some talking chips and salsa.
Just a bunch of talking Mexican food. And they also poked fun at the past horrible food that Casa Bonita used to have. Playing into, the whole lore of the past and stuff. They really made the sopapillas a moment. There was a talking sopapilla that was like mesmerizing.
I'll never forget you. There was also this creepy mud guy that every now and then would pop out and do some talking for the show.
And they really make everything a moment. Like there's no space wasted. And it's actually live actors back there because remember they really emphasized that in the documentary.
It probably lasted 10 minutes and it met my expectations. I was like, yes, I wanted to see a puppet show and I got the puppet show.
We knew there was so much more we had to see. So after the puppet show ended, we were like, okay, what should we do? There was a line for a magic show thing.
This was my first time doing one-on-one magic with an actual magician.
Had these cups that he was doing his magic with. He let us inspect the cups so we could see like, okay, is there some trickery going on with these? But as far as we could tell, they were just cups. And what he did with them was not normal. I don't know how he did it. I still don't know. I don't know if this was meant for kids and we're just dumb adults who don't understand, but I actually was baffled and I still am.
Basically, he would make things appear under these cups. Both of us were watching so intently and we couldn't figure out how he did it. This was a good magic show because we both didn't understand how he did it, but I also felt embarrassed because I was thinking what you were saying, is this meant for kids and what is dumb, or are we supposed to be amazed? I'm not sure.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that was actually magic. He's a magician and the CIA needs to investigate.
Then we entered this gold and silver mine. There was a bunch of seating back here. There was this guy named Joe, and I don't know, maybe he would give you a fortune or give you advice. I'm not sure, but I wanted Joe to talk to me in this cave. But I soon found out that you had to have a Casa Bonita card. So I think it's one of those places where you get a card and then you put $20 on the card and you can use it on a bunch of attractions throughout Casa Bonita. There is a bunch of free attractions at Casa Bonita. Well, they come with your dinner, but there's also some attractions that cost extra.
Time was running out. The clock kept ticking closer to closing time, and there was a fortune-telling bird, balloon animals, face art, old-time photos. We're like, what should we do? Apparently there's an actual magic show, like the puppet show. We didn't know what to do, so we ended up just going to the cliff divers again because they were starting. So we were like, I guess we'll watch them again. And also, Jacob hadn't utilized the splash zone yet.
It was slightly embarrassing being the only one in the splash zone. It kind of gave attention seeker or something, but
I know, trying to do a wet t-shirt contest.
yeah, but it lived up to the name. I got splashed.
Did you? Barely though, right?
No, I barely got splashed. Even though Casa Bonita was going to close in 5 minutes, the mariachi band was still performing. We saw there was a museum for Casa Bonita, so we were like, yeah, let's check it out before we go. There was an old gorilla mask from way back in the day.
Ooh.
There was also a bunch of other stuff from Casa Bonita throughout the years.
It's just crazy because the entire time we were at Casa Bonita, we were doing something, we were eating, we were watching, we were drinking. Like there was never a dull moment. And we tried to go through stuff as fast as we could, and we still just kind of touched the tip of the iceberg.
It's definitely one of a kind, but now we have to answer the big question. It's marketed as the greatest restaurant in the world. I guess, is it?
Well, of course.
I don't have an answer. All I know is that I kind of want to go back again. Casa Bonita!
Casa Bonita.